Hey there everybody, this is 22 Tiger Dude here, and I'm here to review 500 Days of Summer. So 500 Days of Summer is directed by Marc Webb. The film stars Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel. So before I review 500 Days of Summer, my guest star Caden from his channel, Auburn Wanderer, is going to be reviewing this film. So Caden, take it away.
Thank you again, Tony, for having me on to review 500 Days of Summer for your Valentine's Day series review, movie reserve for 2017. And I'm very happy to review this movie. So 500 Days of Summer is about this man named Tom, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and he is like a card writer, like a greeting card writer. And there's like this new intern there named Summer, played by Zooey Deschanel, and he like instantly falls in love with her, and they start to have a connection, and he starts to feel like a bond with her, and they start to talk, and they have a relationship. But there's a lot, twists and turns. It's a very realistic portrayal of a relationship. I love this movie. I've heard a lot of this movie over the past few years I've been involved in film. And I've always wanted to watch this movie, because I think the thing that was really interesting about this film that struck me was that it's a romantic comedy, but it was told from the perspective of a male. And it was directed by Marc Webb. It starred Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who I adore, and I just want to see this film. And I've had the Blu-ray for over 2 years now, and I'm happy that I didn't watch it till this year, in preparation for this review, because I feel like I wouldn't have understood the movie if I didn't watch it. If I watched it those years back when I bought the Blu-ray originally. Because for situations that I've gone through, this film makes a lot of sense, like writing-wise. Because what I mean by that is, emotionally, this movie's almost flawless. Because it's so realistic and so brutally honest of how romance is for men. Like, I'm 13, but for what I've gone through, like, I'm not saying I don't ever remember romance. What I'm trying to say is, like, for what I've gone through, this is really realistic, and this is, like, this is how we think. And it's funny, too. Like, this movie is just not only really realistic, and it keeps you engaged, and you relate to it, and you just feel much more connected to the film because of it. This movie is also really funny, and the best thing about this movie is definitely the screenplay. It's smart, witty, charming, heartbreaking, sincere, and they all come together with the direction from Marc Webb, which is outstanding, to make this really funny and just, heartwarming and heartbreaking at times romantic comedy that has really great acting, and just, the actors in this movie, really embody these characters, and they're very, very passionate. They have a lot of chemistry, and especially between Tom and Summer. You feel their chemistry, when they have ups and downs, you feel the emotion. My really only issues with the film are the narration. I hate the narration. It came in at random times. It really wasn't in the movie that much. It could have been cut out. I don't know why it was in it. And also, sometimes, like, the VFX work was, alright. It was a bit shaky. You could tell when it was, VFX, whatever. I love this movie. I think that it's outstandingly directed by Marc Webb. I think the acting overall is phenomenal. I love the soundtrack too. It fits off the movie great. The ending is really heartwarming, and it's very satisfying. Overall, the movie is very funny. It's very brutally honest and sincere, and I just love this movie overall. And I love 500 Days of Summer. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. And if you guys want to go check me out, I am Auburn Wanderer on YouTube. Link will probably be in the description box. And I appreciate it again, Tony.
Thank you so much, Caden, for reviewing 500 Days of Summer. 500 Days of Summer is one of the best romance movies I've ever seen. This movie really blew me away because of the kind of story it was telling. And the movie is self-aware of the kind of story it's telling. It's a movie about reality versus expectations. How someone you really care about, you really want to be with that person, but then that person could not believe in true love, or that person might be with someone else. And I really loved how 500 Days of Summer has a deep exploration when it comes to that. There is nothing out of place about this film when it comes to telling the storyline. I felt like the storyline was completely engaging from beginning to end. And this is categorized as a romance film, but this film already tells you from the beginning, this is not a romance story. So once you watch the beginning of this film and they actually tell you this is not a romance story, you should definitely know what kind of film you're going to get yourself into. Summer just wants to be Tom's friend, but Tom wants to be more than that. So it was kind of cool how it plays out. And even though there isn't some kind of romantic connection between these two, at least Tom loves Summer, but Summer doesn't really feel the same way, you do still feel this connection between these two characters, and it's still just so lovely. And talking about reality versus expectations, I really did love this one scene where you see two screens. The left side would be reality, and the right side would be expectations. I thought that scene was directed so well. This whole entire movie was directed so well. And it is actually directed by Marc Webb, who went on to direct The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. But Marc Webb did such a terrific job of directing this film and making us care about what's happening on the screen. He made us care about Tom. He made us care about Summer. I personally did really care about Summer. And I did talk about earlier how there's great chemistry between Tom and Summer. I have to really thank that to Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel. These two really played off with each other so well. They were very convincing and very believable with their roles. I also did love Grace Moretz, who is the one that gives Joseph Gordon-Levitt advice once in a while of what to do with Summer. And I thought that was very nice. I just wish I saw a little bit more of that because she's not really in the film that much. But it was nice to see little Grace Moretz here in this film, and I really enjoyed her. And Clark Gregg as Tom's boss, I thought he was terrific here. The film does have very good cinematography. I think the cinematography for the most part is actually very well shot. The script is so well written. It's so well realized. It's definitely not your cliched movie. It's definitely different for a romance movie. And I think that's what makes a film like 500 Days of Summer just so refreshing. Surprisingly, the ending's actually very satisfying to me. Yes, it's your ending that some people may not be a fan of, but I think for the kind of story they're telling, it definitely worked, and it was perfect, honestly, on how it ended. Now, as far as flaws do go with 500 Days of Summer, and these are really just very, very, very minor flaws, to be honest with you guys. I will say that sometimes the cinematography's lighting could have just been a little bit better. The movie is shot with a bit more of a dim look to it, and I can understand why it was shot that way. In fact, for the majority of the film, it looked beautiful the way it was shot like that. But there's some times where I felt like the lighting, just slightly, just a little bit, could have looked just a little bit better. As I said, I would have liked to see more scenes between Tom and Grace Moretz's character because I really liked their bond. I just wish there were maybe more scenes where they bonded just a little bit more. And I think it would have been interesting if we saw Zooey Deschanel's point of view, because this whole entire film is Joseph Gordon-Levitt's point of view. But I think it would have been interesting if we got Summer's point of view as well. Like, what is Summer thinking when she sees Tom as a friend? I think it would have been cool to see both sides rather than one side. Overall, 500 Days of Summer is an incredible romance drama film with an incredible script, incredible direction by Marc Webb, incredible performances, especially from the two leads, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel. The music, the soundtrack, all of those things sounded so beautiful. And I actually forgot to mention that this is actually a very funny movie too. There's actually a lot of times where I was laughing watching this film. So I am going to give 500 Days of Summer 4 out of 4 stars. So you guys, in the comments down below, let me know what you think about 500 Days of Summer. And I want to thank my guest star, Caden, for coming here to review 500 Days of Summer. If you guys want to check out his channel, I will leave a link in the description down below. This is 22 Tiger Dude here, and don't forget that I will always have Tiger Power!